morning, cyber friends. It's the Midi Man coming back at you again from Walker's Music with another word for the day. Early morning edition. We just give God the praise and all the glory for life, health, and strength. We thank God for all of the found from YouTube all the way to Blog Talk. Each and every one of you, you know who you are. We just want to say and continue people to expound on what I was speaking of last night in the Bible study about those that are in spiritual authority and have the leadership role, and it goes for all from whatever role you might play in leadership, whether it be a parent or in the church, pastor, preacher, Sunday school teacher, Bible study leader, whatever. You are required by God to do what's right in all occasions, and you are to not to let wrongdoing go on, because when you allow it, you're just as guilty as the one that's doing it. Today, this morning, I just wanted to say something here. I'm a very, very big fan of Joyce Meyer teaching. I love her practical teaching for everyday life. And I've always loved Joyce Meyer teaching. And I mean, I've been listening to Joyce now for many, many years. Perhaps I think about maybe going on close to 20 years I've been listening to Joyce Meyer. And I love her teaching. But at any rate, there's something, in other words, she touched on that kind of crossed my bowl of soup this morning, and what I was going to continue teaching this week. And I'm glad I got a chance to hear her. And speaking on people that, you know, when people do you wrong, first of all, let me say this, people, let me say this. You are not, neither am I, going to make Jesus out of a lie. If Jesus has said these things were going to be, people they're going to be. You are no different, and I am no different from anybody else, and you are not going to go above the word of God. So number one, we need to get that cleared up right away. Jesus tells us to make certain and check ourselves that we are doing things for the right reason. And after hearing Joyce teach this morning, it just made it so obvious. And I thought about all the years, and I've been, like I said, I've been playing music now for over 30-some years. And I can remember that there was a time when I did not play in the church. I didn't play any gospel music whatsoever. I just didn't do that. And I've been doing gospel music for about right around 20-some years, but I've been playing music for almost 30 years. But I remember when I first started playing in the church, and when I was green, as you per se. I'm still green in certain areas because, like I say, no one knows it all, people. I know that's hard for some of us to believe that we don't know it all, but let me let Midi Man whisper a little bird in your ear. No one knows it all. We are all growing in some area. But at any rate, when in the days of my young days of playing in the church, and when I first started in my ministry in the music in the church, there were a few people that would encourage me. I'm not going to say brag, because they really, if they had bragged at that time, I knew they would have been lying, because I mean, I wasn't what we call, quote unquote, all that hyped up to be yet. I mean, I could play, but I wasn't no church musician. I hadn't played no gospel music. I didn't have that feel. It was my buddy, Brother Floyd Carter, is the one that really got me into playing in the gospel, into the church. He really was the one that got me started into playing into the churches, because I didn't want to do it. And he kind of, told me and tried to point the way and got me involved in a couple of churches and everything, and that's where it started at. But at any rate, and Brother Daryl Johnson, Daryl is also very, very hard, outstanding keyboard player in this area. And I consider Floyd and Daryl to be the two of the top keyboard players in this area. But at any rate, just to make a long story short, not to go into too many details, during those days of the early days, those people that were complimenting me were trying to encourage me to make me stay and stay in the game. It was at that time, during the baby stage, that I kind of needed that little boost and encouragement to stay in the game and not give up, just because of the fact that I didn't play as well as A and B, but I could play only like C. So they get that encouragement they gave me then helped me remain in place and stay in the game. I'm saying that to say this, people. A lot of times we do things for the wrong reason. We don't do things from the heart. We are doing things for praises from people. If you're going to help middleman, go on and help him. Don't help middleman for somebody to praise you about it. If you want somebody to, and now don't get me wrong, I am a firm believer on giving honor to whom honor due. And I think everybody knows that by now. They ought to know that I don't mind. Middleman do not feel it robbery to give a person their honor and give credit where credit is due. I'm a firm believer in that. But when it start talking about all this glory and you just doing things just for folk to speak well of you, well then people, we are doing it for the wrong reason. Now, mind you, I'm going to be honest with you. I have done many things that no one said a word about. But you know what? I'm glad that the Lord took me through a phase and he took me through a desert. Whereas I'm going to play the keyboard whether you say anything good about me or not. It doesn't make no difference. Because number one, I'm not doing it for you to say anything good about it. I'm doing it unto the Lord. And I know that I will get my reward if I stay in the game. So when people do you wrong, don't worry about it. That's that. A man shall reap what he sow. So in other words, when people, I can sit here and I can think of quite a few things that people have done to me this year that was totally wrong. But I'm not going to sit here and cry about that. Neither am I going to keep advertising and calling names and keep talking about it. And if rehearsing it over and over, I let that mess go. Because if I do and just keep on nursing that mess, I'm going to get in depression, get in despair, and now I'm not going to do anything because I'm worried about what somebody else has done to me. Forget it and go on. Forget it. Just like I said this, now I don't know who I'm helping other than myself, but maybe I'm helping somebody. We need to get over it. We need to get over it. A lot of times God will not let us get a whole lot of praise from people because we can't take it. See, most of the time, first of all, God really knows what's in our heart anyway. God automatically knows that we are doing this thing just to be well spoken of. And a lot of times he would not allow that because he tried to get us to grow up. Some of us need to just grow up, point blank. We do things, whether it be in the church or wherever. If we're doing things just to be well spoken of and want somebody to brag on it, want somebody to make sure they put a spotlight on it, then we're doing it for the wrong reason. Now, I admit that there are times that I feel, and I'm always, like I said before, I'm a firm believer in giving honor to whom honor is due. I don't have a problem with it. But just in case somebody may not say anything about what Middleman done last week, it ain't going to make me change my mind. It's not going to make me quit because somebody didn't speak, somebody didn't call my name. A lot of people, everything they do, they want somebody to call their name out and put it on the banner and put it across the church and put a spotlight on it. Well, if you're doing it for that reason, people, we are doing it for the wrong reason. Because look, one thing about it, the glory don't belong to you, no way. Neither does it belong to Middleman. All glory belongs to God, and God will not share his glory with anyone. So what all these little bitty little things that we call ourselves doing, it's good. Do them, but do them as unto the Lord. And whether anybody say anything good about it or not, because now 9 times out of 10, some people not going to say nothing about it no way because they're jealous of you. So don't worry about that. Just forget it and go on. Pick up your cross and follow Jesus. And he will lift you up in due time. That's what he told us to do. Humble ourselves and he will lift us up. We don't have to worry about people. With that being said, this Middleman saying whatever you get into, God not in it, come on out of people. You know it's going to come to nothing. This Middleman saying peace. Goodbye.